What's going on, y'all? KM Best here, your favorite 69th ranked Marvel Snap gamer in the world. And I am here to show you the Thanos deck that I have been using to great success on Marvel Snap's Infinite Ladder. Here is the deck, and it is a little bit different from almost every other Thanos deck I've ever recommended on this channel because there is no America Chavez in it. I have thought for the longest time that the choice in Thanos is between running America Chavez and running Iron Lad. Because Thanos shuffles the deck, you can't run both because then your Lad will hit Chavez a ton of the time. But the main thing that this deck does is run absolutely neither of them. And that is because it is an entirely different kind of Thanos deck. This Thanos deck is actually, I would say, in execution, most similar to like a Galactus list or a true lockdown list. What you're trying to do here is play a bunch of stuff and then Professor X into Alioth. And what you do with that is allow yourself to set up absolute locks on the end of games. You can use cards like Daredevil to be 100% sure that you are going to win the game. And that is a feeling I think a lot of people really enjoy having. They like knowing that they're going to win the game. And that is very, very important. And I think that's a major selling point of this list. It's going to be very fun for you if you like that kind of thing. Now, this list is from Korea. As far as I can tell, it is a slightly modified version of the Johnson build. One hallmark of Korean Thanos deck building is they almost never end up running America Chavez. I want to fit her in here, but as you'll see in the card-by-card breakdown, I feel almost every card is critical, and I can't figure out what I would want to remove for her. So let's jump into the card-by-card breakdown so you can understand where I'm coming from. I find Daredevil to be one of the most important cards in the list, one of the cards I am happiest seeing in my opening hand, and because of that, I value him like extremely highly. I think that at endgame, there can be a lot of guessing in Marvel Snap right now. There's so many cards that move around on the final turn of the game. There's Alioth, and whether you play around Alioth or play around literally anything else, there's a lot of guessing in Marvel Snap endgames right now, and Daredevil helps set you up so that there is no guessing. And that is the thing I enjoy the most about this list, is not having to engage with as much of the screwball comedy that defines Marvel Snap endgames right now, where it's just like, okay, well, they go here, I go there, and if I guess right, I'm gonna win, and it's just the most coin flippy thing of all time. This deck has Daredevil to really set it up and really make sure that you, A, have priority going into turn 6, and B, can win on Alioth lane. This is training wheels, but it is really important to me, at least right now, because of the amount of 50-50s on turn 6 in this metagame. There's pretty much no excuse not to run Elsa Bloodstone. She's kind of like a 2/8 in this deck. You're not always going to fill up every lane, but you very often are going to be able to fill up 2. And I think giving your Jeff extra points is obviously phenomenal because you're a Professor X deck, but you can even do things like Space Stone, move something over, turn 4 Professor X as the 4th unit in the lane, giving Professor X 6 points, and that's usually a lot more than someone is able to deal with on turn 4. A full lane of 4 units plus that Elsa buff is very hard to deal with. So Elsa, I think, is actually just like kind of core here. If I were to cut a card, it would be her or Mobius. So I don't think you're dead in the water if you play this without them, but I do think you're missing out on some of the punch that the deck has. You'll be a lot more having to really finesse your way through games than you will be able to actually just sort of slam stuff and win. You run a ton of 5-drops in this deck, and so you run Psylocke. It's honestly that simple. She's your backup Time Stone. Turn 4 Professor X is the big scam that you really want to do. The ideal line that you get to do is turn 4 Professor X, turn 5 Devil Dino, turn 6 Alioth, the Dino lane, because you already won the Professor X lane, and nothing is bigger than Dino, and it's just, that's kind of the ideal. I don't think I pulled it off one time, but that's the idea of what you want to do. That is the platonic ideal of it, and Psylocke is important to executing that plan. When you are not doing that exact thing, I mean, she's still good. You dump a Vision out early, you dump a Blue Marvel out early, a Devil Dinosaur out early. You have enough 5-drops that playing her on 3 is really important, and the other thing she can do is be played on turn 4 with a Daredevil to allow you to Alioth your opponent's turn 5 play and effectively just delete whatever it is they were doing from the game. Jeff is crucial in this list, not just because you're an Elsa list, but also because you're a Professor X list. If you don't run Jeff, you will find your Professor X lane falling short to the people that do run Jeff. And I think this sort of Jeff arms race, whether or not you think it's healthy for the game, is sort of undeniable at this point. Thanos does not like Loki. I would say that Loki is one of the worst matchups for this deck, thanks to all the scaling threats it has and all the ability it has to cover all 3 lanes, even in the face of an early Professor X. Loki is not a good matchup because when they play the card Loki, they get all your 5 drops and they cost 4, and they get all your 2 drops and they cost 1. So they just end up being able to have their normal early game and then have your late game, but a little bit better. Obviously, that sucks. You need to have Mobius if you want to have a prayer in that matchup, and that's why he's in the deck. Shanger's Bobangers over here is kind of crucial, I think, at this point, because so many people do not expect to be Shanger Bobangered, and that is the best time that you want to Shanger Bobanger people. I'm not going to stop calling him that. You can't make me. You're a deck that puts a lot of stuff on the board. There's not a lot of Killmongers running around. Ergo, we play Blue Marvel, and that's pretty much it, right? Like, this guy is going to be like a 3... He's going to have like 3 power in his own lane, but he's going to have like probably, 8 over the board. So he's like a 5/11, but really it's about the distribution. Blue Marvel is a card that can win you a close Professor X lane, put you out of reach of getting Jeffed in those Professor X lane. It's a very, very powerful card in this list, and luckily you definitely have it. Devil Dinosaur is really, really big. You might look at this card and say, oh, well, the keyword he has, the card's in my hand. That matters so much. No, the keyword this guy has is he's 5 and he's big. That's really it. He costs 5 and he is big. That is the only thing that this guy is here to do. There are going to be some games where your hand is not moving the way you want it to, and this guy is not very good. You want to blame someone for that? Blame Second Dinner and their nerf to the Soulstone. Professor X is core to the main strategy of the deck, which is lock down one lane, Alioth another lane. Professor X is your main way to lock down these lanes. He is a card that you are going to want to be playing on turn 4 if you can, because that makes it a lot harder for them to react to him. But he's also a card where you are very fine waiting until turn 5 if that's what you want to do and you have that Daredevil to make it happen. So there's no rush to get Professor X out early. If you think it's better to wait until turn 5 with the Daredevil, there's no reason not to. Unless, of course, and this is really crucial, you need to think about if there's a reason not to. Because the reasons not to are if you Professor X, they're going to have priority in Alioth U, right? Like, you got to think about stuff like that. Like, if you use your turn 5 on that, well, I hope your turn 4 was a 5-drop that was really good, like a Vision or something, because how are you winning another lane, right? You have to be thinking about that as well. Vision might just be like the best pool 2 and under card in the metagame right now. He carries Elsa buffs incredibly well. He doesn't get Shang-Chi'd unless he's carrying those Elsa buffs. He's great counterplay into Alioth, because if you move him to where they're going to Alioth, he gets power there and Alioth doesn't kill him. He's just about as good as it gets, just a phenomenal card. And of course, we're an Elsa deck. We're a Professor X deck. We're a deck that wants to accelerate our 5-drops out. He is a perfect fit. Everybody loves the purple fart cloud that ruins everyone's metagame. Everyone loves this card. Oh, it's everyone's favorite card, Alioth. And what he does is be about as unfair as any 6-drop you can imagine. I would say he's actually, in this specific context, a little bit more efficient than Leader, because even old Leader in a Thanos deck, it's like, okay, well, my board space actually really matters, right? This guy, no, it doesn't matter at all. Like, you just slam him in a lane, you already propped something. I would say in Thanos, this might actually be better than Old Leader and Old Arrow. He is obviously phenomenal. He obliterates your opponent's cards and doesn't care about anything. Yeah, that's the guy. You want to have priority, so he melts your opponent's cards before they do stuff. And the whole deck is built so you have a 1 lane and priority in the game. And that's what you do. So this Thanos section is kind of going to double as a play tip section. One of the things I've noticed about Thanos after the change to Soulstone, which they should revert and then change Mind Stone to only draw 1 stone. I think that would be my pitch, at least. But this deck is the sort of perfect emblem of how they like to balance stuff. The high rolls are still there and they're very high, but the low rolls are so unbelievably bad. You will have games where your hand is no cards playable before turn 4. Like, you will just have those games and it'll just be like, oh my God, why am I playing this absolute pile of garbage? And you just have to live with that, right? Like, that is what you signed up for when you put Thanos in your deck and you said, hey, Thanos, can you put those Infinity Stones in my deck? That would be very great. Thank you. You signed up for that. And it just sort of sucks. One thing that Thanos will teach you is that you need to be able to manage your board space very well here. It can be enticing to just like play out a bunch of stuff, but the more stuff you play out, the more predictable your end games are. So do keep in mind, like, hey, I need to plan ahead until turn 6 rather than just spamming all the stuff. There are also less stones that you're just happy playing early now. It really does suck because you want to save Time Stone for 3 to get a 5 out or 4 to Daredevil Alioth somebody. And then it's just like, oh man, if I can't play Time Stone on one, what am I supposed to do? And a lot of the time the answer is you just hold it, and it's very upsetting. And I think like the fact that it's only just like Reality Stone is now like a very common turn 1 play. Space Stone is now a very common turn 1 play. By removing the draw from Soul Stone, they made it so the stones are not even used for their purposes anymore. They're just there to draw you cards. Like, you don't really get to use Reality Stone to blow stuff up or Space Stone to move stuff over because you have to use them to get through your deck and play cards. And I really do think that if it were me behind the wheel at Second Dinner, I would revert the nerf to Soul Stone and then change the nerf to the Mind Stone, making it so it only draws 1 other stone, and I would just sort of see where it went from there. I do think that's less of a nerf than what it has now, but I also don't think it's like that big of an increase in his power. It's just something that allows him to use his cards the way they were meant to. All right, y'all, that's going to be it from me verbally today, but I'm going to throw some gameplay on the back end of this video so you can see how I pilot this deck. I will say it was very good for me after I lost a ton of ranks trying to make Black Knight not suck. Video on that coming soon, maybe. I ended up switching over to this and got all my ranks back and then some, so that was very, very nice to see because I've been wanting to play this deck for a little bit now, and I'm very excited that it actually was able to perform in High Infinite. So obviously I'm happy I got my ranks back, but also I'm happy I could play a Thanos deck and not feel like I was just throwing value out the window. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Remember, like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you have a friend who's into Thanos, maybe show them this video. I'm getting so good at shilling now. Holy crap. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Cam Best. Let's jump into the gameplay. Have I been bullied back onto Loki that fast? Every lane had an Alioth in it. That's true. I don't know what he's playing. Okay, so Alioth. Shouldn't you Alioth the Ebony Blade? I have a Shang-Chi in my hand. Okay, that's like the worst possible thing we could have gotten. We could very easily still lose this. How you doing? I'm about to lose big time. I feel like I'm getting mammered on here. Also left Mobius mid. Maybe that makes more sense. I want to be able to beat a Chavez discard on the Dracula. Not testing Black Knight. We did. We lost a bunch. What do you want from me? We did it. Every time I played Dara, someone's like, yo, it's Dara. Yo, Cleanup finally changed his name. I told him he should do this. I told him he should change his name to Visible Man. I'm glad he did it. Boy, I'm about to play a lot of stones over there. This is a snap. I don't know what he's playing yet, but like probably. When do they revert Soulstone nerf? Sag? Dude, I know. I know. I see. Well, there goes that Jeff. Interesting spot here. Wherein, whoa, they snapped me. That's crazy. Okay. I mean, I'll play. I'll play it. I'm into it. Prof, right? It'll be hilarious. I thought about it. I think this is a little funnier. Yeah, Prof is the final turn game. That way we don't get shanged on. We could still get Omega fucking Enchantress. But as long as we have priority, at least one of our lanes gets to 50-50 flip for it. I have a HelloFresh thing on top of their name. That's because you should subscribe to HelloFresh. Do we shang them instead of Profex them now? It's a serious consideration, right? Like this? Oh. Fair enough. It is bad. That is a bad thing. We don't like it. Fuck it, sure. What do you think is a better sub for Jeff, Nightcrawler, or Cage? Good question. Probably Cage. Yikers. Are we just dead now? We just fucking dead? Guess we're not. I guess we're not just fucking dead. A 20 power Thanos is really big. We're gonna hold here because our board space looks pretty conflicted. We were fucking dead if that thing didn't move. Right? We were dead if that didn't move. I was trying to figure out a way to 100% checkmate, which is kind of what this deck tries to do. Annoying. Interesting. Red Mage, welcome back. All right, Black Knight. Solid. Solid. Ebony Blade and Actual Blade. I feel as though we're kind of dead here, but the Actual Blade is a little interesting, isn't it? Like, are we supposed to go like this and look into drawing Shang-Chi? I think that's probably our closest thing to an out. They have 0 cards in hand. Okay, so we are, I think, dead. But I mean, this is 9, right? If they're not running Chavez, we can win. Actually, we beat Chavez here, don't we? Yeah, Reality Stone this in a bar with no name. Yep. I mean, I suppose it's equally as likely to be Nexus, right? But we beat Chavez here. Unless that's the Nexus, in which case, you know, we suck. Okay, we're good. Not Loki? I mean, it could be Loki. I think Elsa's a little better, but, like, Loki decks are Elsa decks, so what are we really talking about here, yeah? They have a reverted wave? They're not reverting wave. Come on now. Not happening. Good quick mob over here. Good mob. We're gonna need that. We're also gonna need to win this X Mansion fairly reasonably. Ooh, we're gonna need to mute this person. That is not an X Mansion win, but I don't hate it. It makes this turn extremely fucking annoying for them. In the context of, like, you know, scary stuff happening. And I have 8 million dudes. This is just kind of a lot of power. Whoa, they snapped me? Even though I have a Mobius out? Alright, I gotta admit, I'm scared of this one. I'm scared of this one. This is like a big Loki play right now or something? Oh my god, I forgot that would work. We're fucked. We're fucked. Wait, are we fucked? I don't know. Let's find out if we're fucked. We seem fucked. I feel like we're dead, but whatever, let's play it. I feel like we're reasonably enough of the time alive that we might as well try. We might as well try. I think I'm losing here, personally, Nataku. But it's possible I win. It's always oh, if that's the play, I do win. If that's the play, I'm winning this game. Okay, that one I always beat. What I thought was they could figure out that I kind of only have one play here, and then just dump a bunch of shit in Aunt May's that probably kills me. Okay. Maybe I can get something out of this. That's not good. I need a stone right now. They snap me, huh? I'll play for 2. I will play for 2. Because if I draw pretty much anything, I get this raft. Pretty much any of the good guys. Thank you. Even that will give me the raft. Hell yeah, snap me, motherfucker. Oh, you got it, dude. Do we hold? They might play Mobius. I think it's more likely they play Mobius than any, like, anti-ongoing tech. I think it's more likely they play Mobius than any, like, anti-ongoing tech. Drop start at noon. So 12 hours from 12, I think. If they start now, then I'm fucking balling, but... I believe they start at noon. Okay, so... Correct? Let's go from 8, go to 3, go to 4, and then go up to 12 over there. I think so. I think so. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that Jeff about to... Oh, fuck. We're dead, right? Wait, what's that last card? Oh my god, we won. Whoa, dude.